Romy was born in 1977 to Barry and Bonnie Crease of Des Moines, Iowa. Her parents were devout Catholics and so were completely unprepared for what happened when she began to talk about her past life. She would talk about her previous life as Jo Williams. She'd insisted that she'd grown up in Charles City, a town 140 miles from Des Moines. She said that she'd married a woman named Sheila and they had 3 children. Romy claimed that both Jo and Sheila had been killed in a motorcycle accident that Romy described in considerable detail. She also feared motorbikes and would have a panic when one zoomed past. She was also able to recall other incidents from Jo's life, where he had started a fire in home and his mother, Louise Williams, had burned her hand trying to put out the fire. Romy also claimed that his previous mother complained of a pain in her right leg, which she'd also injured in the fire. Romy often asked to be taken back to Charles City because she wanted to reassure her previous mother, whom he called Mother Williams, that everything was okay. They eventually visited Charles City, where Romy insisted they buy Mother Williams some blue flowers, as they were her favourite, and that
welcome to Colorado.
They must not use the front door but go to the back door. After checking the phone book, they found a Louise Williams listed, and Romy was able to direct them. When they arrived at the house, to their amazement, there was a note on the front door requesting them to use the back door. An elderly woman answered holding a crutch with a bandage on her right leg. Louise Williams was ecstatic to receive the flowers and said she'd never had any flowers since her son Jo had given her some many years before. Romy then told her everything about her past life as Jo, where Louise Williams could not believe how she knew all of these facts and confirmed everything Romy had said, saying, "Where did this girl get all this information? I don't know anyone living in Des Moines." She explained that she and Jo had lived in a red brick house, as Romy had said, but this house had been destroyed by a tornado that had damaged much of Charles City 10 years ago. Jo helped build this house, and he insisted we keep the front door shut during the winter. Louise Williams was able to confirm many details of Romy's narrative about Jo, including his marriage to Sheila, their 3 children, the names of other relatives, and the fire in her home in which she had burned her hand. She was also able to verify Romy's precise description of the motorcycle accident in 1975, 2 years before Romy was born. Louise showed her a family album where Romy was able to identify everyone in the photos. Despite this confirmation, neither she nor Romy's parents were prepared to accept the possibility that their daughter was the reincarnation of Jo Williams. "I don't know how to explain it, and I find it hard to believe," observed Romy's mother, "but I do know my daughter isn't lying." Number 5. Courtney Porosco, Louisiana, USA. When Courtney was 3 years old, she was sitting at the table, scribbling on some paper, and casually said to her mother, "I miss my Grandma Alice so much." Her mother then said, "Who is Grandma Alice?" Courtney replied, "She is my grandma." Then her mother replied, "You already have 2 grandmas, and neither of them are Alice." Courtney said, "Well, I know that, but Alice was my grandma before I was Courtney." She claimed that Grandma Alice and her grandfather had looked after her when their parents had died. Unfortunately, her grandma had died when she was 16. Her mother then said, "Well, I'm glad you're with me now," whereas Courtney replied, "Well, yes, I know that you love me, and that is why Grandma Alice had recommended you for me as my new parents on Earth." Courtney then talked more about her previous life, describing that she'd lived near hills where the trees lost their leaves before winter, and that the winters were very cold, and not like here in Louisiana. Their house had no indoor toilet, and in winter it was freezing to go to the toilet outdoors. Courtney said that when you first arrive in heaven, you're allowed to rest for a while. Then you have to work, and what you want to learn in your next life on Earth. Then you choose a family that will help you learn and what you need.
crazy.
Mother asked her whether she'd met God, and Courtney replied that yes, she'd only seen God with her soul. Her mother could not believe what Courtney had said from a child so young. And where did she learn about such things when none of these subjects had ever been discussed at home? Number 4. Nekati Unataskadin Adana, Turkey. The Islamic faith is the main religion in Turkey, where officially no one believes in reincarnation, even though some Islamic sects either partially or completely acknowledge that reincarnation exists. One case is about a boy from Adana, Turkey, called Nekati Unataskadin. As soon as Nekati was able to speak, he talked about his past life.
The Aztec
He said
temple.
that his name was Nise Buda, and that he lived in Mersin, Turkey, and his wife's name was Zida, and they had many children. His best friend was Ahmed Renkli, who he would regularly visit with his son Najat. Tragically, on one occasion, they had a serious argument where Ahmed stabbed him to death.
That's the
After
temple of
much prompting from
Yukon.
Nekati, his parents decided to take him to
you
visit
mother-
Mersin, which was
fucker, man.
100 kilometers